Right, you're right, and I'm not advocating for laws restricting the media at all. Like, First Amendment should stay the way it is. I'm advocating for us as consumers to change our mindsets in order to better incentivize to give them an economic incentive to change.
Oh, right. So I'm asking people, what they would like, what they think people should do. It can be like what you think they should do based off of a belief. It can be what you think people should do in general. Really anything. Um, what's what comes to mind, guys?
Long-standing belief of mine that people should take a step back and when addressing like more serious topics try not to paint it as black and white. I know our knee jerk response as humans is to make assumptions or to form beliefs around what we know, but oftentimes when we look at big things as if they're like football matches where you're either one side or the other, there's no room for nuance. That is not a really healthy way to analyze any sort of situation. So just leave room for nuance in life.
What's an example of the worst offender? Um, when I say offender, I mean like the thing that people do that with that is the most concerning, the most like, wow,
As much as I don't want to go there, politics. It's the big
politics.
one.
Okay.
And not getting into too much about U.S. politics, I did speech and debate for a while, and I focused on international affairs. And humans have a tendency to, we just have a tendency as observers observing the world work, say, oh, you're either on this side or on this side, and or this side is like the pinnacle of morality, while this side is awful and should be gotten rid of. And that is not how anything works, and especially not international politics.
Okay.
And that, unfortunately, and it's something that our media, both consciously and unconsciously, likes to further by curating what you sort of see, and it's unfortunate. I would really love to see more balanced views and nuance. Yes.
Do we want to change the subject to media? The media should provide a more, what would you say? Provide a more balanced, a more neutral.
Ooh,
What are your thoughts on it?
that one's hard. Sorry to have derailed
No,
us
no,
on
no,
a,
you're good.
but I think I think the media's tendency to promote like sensationalism and to go for like the quick soundbite instead of the longer explanation is a big part of this. And it's like I think the media should allow the people or give the people as much information as possible, even though it may be overwhelming, and let them decide instead of just taking these quick sound bites or these quick clips.
What I'm hearing is the media should tell the whole story without the clickbait.
Yes.
Okay. What do you
And
think about that?
Um, well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I mean, I have my beliefs
Sure.
on what the media should put out, and what I would say is I would like to see more positivity in the world. You know, like
Gotcha.
a lot of the news is just negativity, death, destruction, all that stuff. And I mean, while that's like really important to know, I like don't want my life to be constantly filled with negative headlines constantly.
yeah,
But of course, like you said, it would be good if the media like provided the full story and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's not what gets them clicks. That's not what makes them money, and it's like sad reality.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
Let's talk about strategy. So right now we have a lot of news companies that are just for the sensationalism, the clickbait. They just want people to watch just for that's how they make their money, right?
right.
So strategy wise, how do we get from where we are now, that being the reality, to getting the full story, getting uh, the whole picture?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I'll have to talk to my journalism professors about that. But one way is to I feel like there are sort of two ends of extremes in the media lately. Either being so scared of backlash that you are like way too selective with your wording, and as such, really, it's much to do about nothing, or are just going for the full sensationalism where you are like angering a lot of people, but that gets engagement, or you are motivating people with fear or other negative emotions, but that also gets engagement.
Yeah.
And I just think that we should find a balance between providing all of these, like you said, providing all of this negative emotion into our lives, and being so scared to upset anyone that we don't really inform anyone of anything.
I totally agree. What I'm wondering is, like, a news company could choose to do everything that you said. You think that they're... I mean, so far they haven't made that choice. It sounds like you would like them to make that choice. Would you want to have some sort of strategy, some sort of method to ensure that that happens, or should we sit back and just let them report how they want to?
I think we have to develop a strategy at this point, and I think it starts with us. And I think it's like a grassroots movement on especially social media. As much as social media is a double-edged sword, there's one thing that it can absolutely have the power to do, and that is get these grassroots movements of interesting issues that you would probably like not think about on a day-to-day basis up to the surface, and get them have them get more and more attention. So I think sort of promoting uh, both journalistic integrity and media literacy at the same time would be a very good.
So teaching both the viewers and the media themselves.
I think that's
And
how you
grassroots.
kind of walk the tightrope.
What do you think? Should we try to get the media to report in a more honest, unbiased way, or should we just let them report however they would like to report?
That's kind of a one I haven't given much thought, but my first thought on that is like, should we be able to restrict what the media reports on? That sounds like it's kind of getting into, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
like, yeah, objectively we could say, yeah, we're restricting them for the better to us. That's like better for us. You know, that kind of makes it black and white in a way.
Right, you're right, and I'm not advocating for for laws restricting the media at all. Like, First Amendment should stay the way it is. I'm advocating for us as consumers to change our mindsets in order to better incentivize, to give them an economic incentive to change.
Yeah, that I would agree. Like, might as well incentivize positivity instead of,
Yes.
punishing.
Right, and because if you try to punish free speech or free press, it's always you're going to catch so many things in the crossfire, and it's a very, very slippery slope.
Are there any other strategies besides making a legal law restricting this freedom of the press and grassroots movement where we incentivize non-clickbait? Is there anything else we can do besides those two options?
It's hard to say because this has sort of become the new norm. So we would be sort of rewriting how the media industry works on the back of a napkin, per se. But I think if there's any way to work, it has to start with sort of everyday consumers. It has to.
So that would be the strategy.
Right.
Okay. Do you think that this is a strategy? And this is a question for both of you. Do you think this is a strategy that is a winning strategy? Do you think it could potentially work?
Would you like to?
When you say, like, come up with a strategy to change media into being less negative and more positive, I honestly don't see that happening anywhere in the near future, but that's just me being nihilistic.
That's okay.
But I really think it just starts, with the individual. And kind of where you get your energy from. And, you know, if you feed off of negativity, you're going to be a more negative person and you spread negativity. It starts with the person. You got to be positive. If you like, you know, hearing about positive things makes you happier, you kind of spread that positivity around you. And I think just like as a society, I don't know, if we overall become more positive about things, like get more excited to hear about the good in the world, things could start changing. And, you know, it's you just got to kind of start locally and focus on what you can change. And you can't stress too much about what you can't, because that'll kind of put you more in a negative mood. That's how I see it.
That's an interesting perspective, and I think that shows like a slight difference, but yet a similar perspective to mine. On you think that seeing more positive content would sort of ease the load on like the viewer or and help them develop those more positive mindsets. Whereas I come from a standpoint of like the world is messed up, and I've made my peace with that, but I still believe that we can change, not because I see a lot of positivity, but because like giving like not believing that we can change some things would just be giving into the negativity. So like
Yeah.
I build my positivity in my personal life from the negativity of the world. And so yeah, it's I
Yeah,
that's sort of the end of that thought.
Oh, that's valid. It's totally legit. And yeah, I probably shouldn't say we can change.
Yeah.
But
But-
that's absolutely a fair point, because it's so ingrained in our society, the way we like deal with information, that it's hard to even conceptualize what we could do about it.
I know I haven't given it much thought myself. This is the first time I've kind of thought about that.
That's- Sorry for getting stuck in the discussion with the poli-sci and journalism major.
Yeah, no, I just work on computers. I don't know how to do this stuff.
That's quite all right. Well, this is pretty good. I think we're probably gonna get backed up soon. But yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. This is an awesome little chat. Hopefully it got the gears turning. Any questions for me before? I let you
Oh
guys go?
well, what is your channel?
Sure. It's well, you have the card. That answers that particular question. But I think you're asking more of what it's.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that?
So I have these conversations with people, and there's kind of two separate but similar things that I'm doing: street epistemology and something else that I'm helping create, which is compassionate epistemology. Street epistemology concentrates on somebody's belief, a truth claim, what they think is true, and talk about how they arrived at that conclusion and whether that they use a valid method to arrive at that conclusion. Compassionate epistemology is a little different. It's more about values and if a person is using effective strategies to fulfill those values. That's more of the conversation we had.
Interesting. This is all stuff I've never thought of before.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Terrific.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to think a different way about it.
Thank
Great.
you. Yeah.
Thank you guys again.
Yeah. Thank you for being a great discussant.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you.
Oh.